Much like a lot of teenagers desperately wanting to feel some semblance of independence from their parents, I got a job in food service. Unfortunately, 5-Star Pizza is a little hole-in-the-wall franchise that not many know about, mostly because there are only 20 locations. And can you guess where those locations are? That's right, they're all in Florida, all 20 of them. I started working at 5-Star when I was 17, and due to child labor laws or whatever, I wasn't allowed to make any of the pizzas, because that would put me near the oven, and everybody knows that pizza ovens are set to kill anyone who isn't 18 or older. So what was I left to do if I couldn't make pizzas? I had to answer phones. Yep, phones. Now, it wasn't entirely bad. A phone person shift would only last 4 hours and would also consist of folding boxes and making these things called hotel packs, which were just plates, napkins, parmesan, and red pepper flakes all conveniently placed into a plastic bag. Hotel packs were my worst enemy. I hated making them. They took too long, and it was mostly because of the plastic bag. Separating a plastic bag was like trying to cut through steel. Not to mention, we had to fill up like 2 buckets of them. Not only that, but pulling the paper plates apart was annoying too. You could never get an even number of plates in one of those bags. Oh, looks like these guys are getting 17 plates because they don't want to come apart! Oh, of course, here's the hotel pack. Huh? Wait a minute. Who put a whole pack of plates in here? But besides that, working phones wasn't bad at all. Except for when it was. I worked the weekends, and like all the other socially awkward teens out there, I would have been at home otherwise. And let me tell you, working weekends was super stressful. But blank, how can working at a hole-in-the-wall pizza shop that only has 20 locations be stressful? Shouldn't it be slow? Well, dear viewer, that's what I thought too. But I was sadly mistaken because we would be slammed on weekends. Phones would constantly be ringing, customers would be piling up outside, and me and my other 2 coworkers would be scrambling making sure things got done. Now, I remember my second night working there. It was a Friday night, and I wasn't having a whole lot of fun. I was sweating, my voice was becoming raspy from talking, I barely knew how the ordering system worked, and it wasn't a good night. I then took this phone call, and the customer asked me for a white pizza. Now, a white pizza at our store is like a regular pizza, but instead of marinara sauce, it was a mix of ricotta and garlic sauce. But at the time, I had no idea what that was, so I just put it down as a cheese pizza. Cheese pizzas are white. That must be what she wants. Phone call ended and I quickly forgot about her. Until she came up for her order and my manager was the one helping her at the window. I ordered a white pizza. This is just a cheese. Says here it's supposed to be a cheese. Who's employee number 568? Wait, I'm employee number 568. I then explained myself to my manager and he was like, sorry, he's new. He's also not the brightest. But we ended up remaking it as a white pizza, and even though this girl waited like 15 more minutes for her pizza, she tipped us like $45. It was one of the best customer interactions I had. If it was anyone else, they would have yelled at me, demanded a refund, and thrown a scalding hot pizza in my face. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating just a little bit, but man, customers can be ruthless. Like this one customer who, when I think about it, it still makes me seethe. So one day I was scheduled on a random Tuesday, and usually phone people are put on the busy nights like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I was pretty excited for this Tuesday. I was going to be able to chill, fold boxes, and maybe answer a couple phone calls for my entire shift. But when I came in that night, my excitement turned to dread. Because we were slammed on a Tuesday. So this customer experience made me even more mad when it happened. I was just taking customers because we had an entire line of people outside. So this guy came up to the window. I said, name, sir? Wheater pies, he said. So I looked at the orders and I saw that 2 out of the 3 items were ready. And that usually means that the final item should be coming up in a couple minutes. So I went to the kitchen area where the owner was, and he was on the oven, catching the mountains of pizzas that were falling out. And I asked when the pizza I needed would be out. He told me that he was going to need a couple more minutes on it, so I walked my way back to the customer with the new information about his pizza. It's going to be a few more minutes. And he said to me, do they have to remake it? No. Well, why did I hear them say they have to remake it? And hearing this really confused me. I sure as heck didn't hear anyone say they needed a remake, so either this guy did hear it and I'm deaf, or he was lying to me. He looked at me with a stern look of disappointment and told me that I shouldn't lie to him and that he'd wait for the remake. When he said this, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I decided to ignore it and serve the next customer. Now fast forward a little bit and the dude comes back to the window looking for his food. So I look to the orders and the pizza still isn't there. So I marched my way back up to the owner, desperately hoping that the pizza would be coming out right at that instant, and all of my worries would just fade away, but no, he told me that it needed to be remade a second time. So it turned out that it did need to be remade. Why wouldn't you tell me that? So I went back to the customer and told him the news, and he was not happy. He demanded that he talk to my manager, so I got one of the 3 that were on shift that day and stood next to them as I heard him complain. He blamed every bit of it on me, saying that if I had just told him the truth the first time, he wouldn't have been angry. I did not need this middle-aged man who looked like he peaked in high school talking to me like I was his son. My manager looked at me and saw the look of anger building up in my eyes and told me to just step away for a bit. This man demanded that he was compensated for the situation. He ended up getting like 7 2-liters as well as a credit for his whole meal free off of his next order. I was so mad for the rest of the week. I still bring it up to coworkers today.
I still remember that awful day 2 long years ago. The day Wheater Pies came to 5-star. The sound of his name still brings me to a red-hot fit of anger.
Blaine, can you please shut up about this? You've brought it up every day since then. But in my 2 years of working there, that had to have been the only real bad customer experience. Working there, though, has had its funny moments, too. Like this one time. So we have these things called hot racks, which is a metal box that has an exposed red hot bar on the inside, and they're supposed to keep the food warm. So one night, my buddy Isaac, who I work with, was a little bored and decided it would be a great idea to put a paper plate directly up to the exposed metal red hot bar. And when I turned to him, I saw my dear friend holding a burning paper plate in his hand. What are you doing? He quickly put it out as one of the shift leads at the time came over to see him holding a plate that was clearly charred on the edges. Please don't burn the store down, guys. And then he just walked off and left us alone. Hey viewers, random nobody blank here. I've had plans to do videos like this and have been very inspired from other animation YouTubers, so I decided to just go for it. This video took me about 2 weeks to make, and I came up with a plan for myself. I'm going to work 2 weeks on a video like this, and then I'm going to work 2 weeks on my comic, and alternate between that, so I'm able to get content out for anyone who likes videos like these, and also keep busy on the webcomic I'm doing. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.